we called a timeout and still didn't run it right. Offensively, I mean, you miss shots, you miss shots. We had low turnovers, but we didn't shoot the ball particularly well. We started out first quarter pretty well, but you end up shooting 40% against a good team. It's hard. And I think that some of that is we took tough contested shots, and some of it is we drive in the lane and get ourselves too deep, and we're taking a pretty tough contested shot. Obviously, I'm searching for combinations. Thought we, had some good ones for a stretch, but man, it's, we ended on a 17-4 run, but I think we had one close to that to get the lead too for us. And we just couldn't sustain it because we made mistakes.
Then you talked about rebounds pregame, and I'm sure I don't have the box in front of me, but I think it was pretty heavy in their favor, I do believe.
Well, I think the rebound thing is it was because we missed a ton of shots. They had a chance to get a lot of defensive rebounds. I actually, until late in the game, I think Brianna Jones hurt us and one other player hurt us on some offensive boards, but we held them to 10, and they usually average more than that. We forced turnovers tonight. I mean, we forced, 23 turnovers and got a lot of points off of it, but that was the easiest way for us to score tonight. Playing against their set defense, we didn't do a great job.
And say a few words about Kennedy Burke, another very efficient game.
Yeah, I mean, she's really helping us. She's got size to guard people. She made some threes to get us going again. She's been a great addition to our team.
Sorry, I was late, so you might have already addressed it, but what did you think were the issues offensively, or what were the things that Connecticut was doing defensively?
I mean, we played against a set defense a fair amount of the time when we weren't scoring in transition off of their turnovers. I think that, we obviously had several people that didn't shoot a good percentage. And so, that makes it tough. I think that we made some bad choices. We end up playing one-on-one sometimes against a set defense. That's not a good recipe. We're better when we're moving the ball and cutting and screening and doing all that. Us 1-on-5, with a set defense is very hard.
All right, Karen, go right ahead.
Now we'll go to Michelle.
Hey, Mike, it's Michelle Smith, WNBA.com. How are you?
Good, thanks. Well, not good, but good.
All right. So I'm going to ask you for a couple silver linings here. So the minutes you got from Burke, that you got from Elizabeth, obviously Mashita, what do those tell you moving forward about how you can use people and what you can expect from them?
Well, I mean, I think that the strength of our team as we go forward will be depth. Just the fact that we had some depth to be in a game we had a chance to win without, Elena and Alicia, that's a big start. It's disappointing when you have an opportunity to win one of those games on the road that you don't finish it, especially when you have a lead in the fourth quarter. But those guys, I mean, I thought the three you mentioned played particularly well. We got Tianna Hawkins going a little bit more offensively. She's been struggling with her shot, and we got her going a little bit too.
And then my quick follow-up, and again, I'm going to ask you to look at the sunny side of the street. This is as disappointed as you are today, and playing without Elena and and Alicia and Alicia. You guys are 6-3. What do you like about this team right now?
Well, I think I like our general. In general, I like our toughness, our togetherness, our chemistry. I don't feel like we're very smooth offensively, and yet up until today, we've been shooting a decent percentage. I think they are buying into how we want to play, but it doesn't look smooth right now at times. The fact that we can take two, starters out of the lineup, be on the road and have a chance to win, I think that's encouraging. This is our first road loss. And so, when you can go out and start the season and be 3-1 on the road, that's a good sign, I hope, for the future.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jen?
Hey, Coach, sticking with Kennedy for a second, you've had some other players who've kind of struggled. You talked about it, not really in a rhythm, but Kennedy's come in late here and seemed to be in a rhythm kind of from the start. So what do you think's allowed her to be so efficient and impactful, even when your offense isn't quite firing on all cylinders?
Well, I think part of it is that she had such a good season overseas that she's come in right from that and, has a positive vibe about how she's playing. She shot the ball well overseas, shot over 40% from 3 there. So that's carried over to us. The fact that she can defend and switch out and play, point guards and power forwards and wing players and defend about just anywhere on the floor. I think that's been a big plus for us too. And I think she sees how she can contribute in that area too.
And then just one other question, we talked about Connecticut's length and the challenge that poses pregame. But, Courtney Williams on the perimeter had a big first half for them too. And just curious, without Jasmine Thomas, what challenges do you think that Sun backcourt gave you guys on both ends?
Well, I think that actually in general, I'm not unhappy with how we made them work to get shots. I thought that Courtney and Heidemann had to work, but I think that they pretty much have learned to play within themselves and do things that they know they can do. Heidemann's been thrown into the mix and she comes out and has just 1 turnover. That I think that's a big thing for them to have a point guard who can get everybody else the ball in the right spots. And I think she's done a pretty good job of that. The thing about Courtney Williams is that she does a lot of other little things too. She's passing the ball better. People don't think of her as a great passer, but she had 7 assists tonight. She's always been a good offensive rebounder. So, that was a big get for them to get her back this offseason.
Rafiq?
This is Ralph. If nothing but that sports talk. Unfortunately, the Washington Mystics did give it to Raw, but when the Bonner hit that shot that put you guys down by 7, it was pretty much over from there. You think you could have done something a lot better to defend the Bonner on the baseline?
I don't want to talk about a specific play. I mean, she made a shot. That's what she does. She's a good shooter. I don't know if we did a good job of contesting on that. We made, we were trying to help inside we got caught in a mismatch in the lane with one of our smaller guards guarding one of their posts, and we couldn't get back out to Bonner quick enough.
And what are your thoughts on the way that Tianna Hawkins and Elizabeth Williams contributed in this effort despite the
Yeah, I mean, I think they gave us a huge lift tonight. Elizabeth, did what we kind of expect around the rim. She knows how to move without the basketball. Rui was able to find her several times. Tosh found her a couple times. She did a pretty good job, I thought, for in the second half on Brianna Jones. Brianna was good early and we kind of slowed her down a little bit. And Tianna made some shots tonight.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck.
Yep.
That's all the time we have, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Still here. Hey, what's up, yeah?
Hey.
Can it take me a little bit through that final stretch? You guys kind of make that push to kind of grab that control in that 4th quarter, but they end on that 17-4 run. What got out of whack in that last stretch?
I think we just made we had some slip ups on the defensive end, and then it kind of led over to offense. The ball got a little stagnant. I think we got away from what was working when we went on our run offensively, but it's just one of those things where we learn from it and just got to be better next time.
Nice to, L is nice, but you guys are shorthanded. You got going a little bit. Elizabeth got going a little bit. Are those positives that you guys can take from this?
Most definitely. We had a lot of positives in this game. It was a very winnable game, but Connecticut was very physical at the end. And again, we kind of beat ourselves at the end when they went on their run.
And what was clicking for you? Is it just a couple shots went down tonight, or?
My preparation was the same. I just went in, with confidence. My shot wasn't really falling in the first half, but everyone kept saying, keep on shooting it, it's gonna go in. And once I saw that first one going, I was able to relax a little bit. But, my teammates did a good job with keeping me, confident and going.
And just one last thing, I feel like we've talked a lot about this season, you guys have rough stretches, but there's times where you could, a lot of teams might just say, okay, tonight's not our night, and just kind of roll over, but you guys kind of always keep fighting. And, tonight was another example of that. What's that say about you guys as a group?
I mean, we're not giving up. We're gonna always fight. Our fight just has to be a little harder. But no, we're always gonna stick together. I mean, that's what we go in every day, every game saying together on 3. So we're always gonna fight and stay together.
Hi, I'm Alexa Thibault with ESPN. 9 games into the season, you guys have played without Elena, played without Alicia, played without both. Just being part of that whole kind of stretch, do you feel like you all have gotten used to kind of the in and outs of, I guess you can, ahead of time, but it's still different. I'm sure of the chemistry. How has it been just to get used to that throughout the first time?
Well, the good thing is, we get a lot of reps together. So, when there's a game where we're missing someone, I mean, we always tell the next person to stay ready when your name is called. And that's just the good thing about this team is we're all professionals, and, anybody's night is anybody can have a good night, no matter who's there, who's not there. Just staying ready is the key.
And Coach was talking about the fact that you guys have this depth that you're able to show. And obviously, once you do have everyone back, that's even only going to be further bolstered. Does that just give you all more confidence out there that anyone can kind of do that?
Most definitely. I mean, we have pieces everywhere. Our goal for the bench, especially the bench, me coming off the bench, is to not have any letdown. And our focus going into every game is just to make sure we're aggressive and, picking up where the starters left off.
Kara?
Jen?
Hey, Tianna, how are you?
How are you?
Good. I know you've played against Connecticut a lot in your career. Just what is the experience like? How would you describe what it's like going up against their length and size in the front court?
They're physical and talented. And we know it's gonna be a dogfight every time we play them. It's never an easy game against them, but it just speaks volumes, on both teams that if we're gonna play a physical game, we're gonna fight to the end of the game.
And then just wanted to ask you real quick about Kennedy, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals for her. Just curious what you saw from her, not only tonight, but what you've enjoyed about her being with the group this season.
From the first time she played with us, I think that was Dallas. It might have been Dallas. She was very aggressive. She just got in and fit in where she could, and she hasn't backed down. She's a competitor, and she's gonna give her all every night. And she has a lot of confidence. I love that.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Rafiq?
This is Ralph. You could nothing but that sports talk. Yeah, your team was off to a good start, but you did lose against the Connecticut Sun, and you managed to put up a very offensive effort, as the coach kind of described. Like, is there anything that you could have done a little bit more to help your team get this victory? That didn't happen?
Can you say it again? There was a lot of noise.
Yeah, unfortunately, your team couldn't necessarily come up with the victory. I mean, you managed to get 10 points. You were good on the inside and on the fast break. Do you think it's something that you could have done a little bit more to help your team get a victory that wasn't happening?
We just gotta move the ball and make sure we stay spaced and stay true to our offense. They went on the run. It was more so our defense more than anything. Our defense typically leads to good offense. Because we wasn't getting those good defensive plays, it kind of affected our offense. So we just gotta make sure we lock in and focus in on the defensive end, and that way, our buckets will become a little easier, and we can get those shots and layups and transition.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck.
That's it, Tianna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, yeah. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Do you want to talk about BG?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start. So Brittany Griner is our teammate, our friend, and our sister. She's a record breaker, a gold medalist, a wife, a daughter, a champion, a role model, an all-star, and so much more. Right now, BG is an American citizen who's been wrongfully detained in Russia for 100 days. That's 144,000 minutes. Anyone who's followed us knows the power of the 144. We know that speaking up together as a collective is game, life, and world changing.
To our sisters, brothers, and colleagues in professional sports, sign the petition.
your own media blackouts. Hold your own media blackouts. Please help us reach the White House. To athletes of any age, ability level, team, sport, or country, this is our teammate, a member of our global sports community. We need to stand up and stand together to call for her release. Speak up, speak out, and do not stop until BG is home. To the media, write BG's story, use your platform and your voices. Go to wearebg.org and sign the petition, call the White House and call everyone you know. If you know anyone in the Biden administration, call them. Cheryl needs to meet with the president. Her person, our sister, has been wrongfully detained for 100 days. You've heard our pleas. You've heard BG's wife, Cheryl's pleas, and now more than ever. We need you to stand with us. Go to her person home.
And yes,
Or to get her person home. I'm sorry.
and yes, we're gonna have a pay equity conversation. We're gonna talk about betting on women and investing in women's sports so athletes like BG don't have to risk their health and safety playing basketball year round to make a living. We recognize that the wrongful detainment of one of our own is a pay equity issue. We cannot hide it or spin it. We have to own it because the sooner we do that, the closer we get to addressing the issue. But we'll save that conversation because right now, on day 100 of BG's wrongful detainment, we're calling on everyone to use their platforms, no matter the size, to bring attention to her wrongful detainment, to get Cherelle that meeting with President Biden, and to get our sister home. It can feel helpless to be here, unsure of what you can do to help while BG is there. There are action steps you can take, and we're asking you, imploring you to take them. Call the White House, call your representatives, sign and share the petition, use hashtag WeAreBG on social media, and engage in productive conversations about pay equity. There is so much heartbreak and hurt in our country right now. President Biden, please use all available resources to get Brittany Griner home. We need something to rally around and build upon.
It's been over 144,000 minutes that BG has been wrongfully detained. We know, and you know, the power of the 144. But right now, we aren't the 144 because we aren't the 144 without BG. We need you, we need advocates, and we need solidarity. Let's show the world the power of our collective voices and get BG home.
Thank you.
Just real quick, you both play a lot overseas.
Yeah.
How scary is this whole situation? I mean, situation is scary as all, but how does it hit you as, folks who have been in that same situation overseas, not in the same situation, but, you guys go overseas and have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, I'll start. I mean, it's super scary. I played in Russia too. So I get it. It's kind of like we talked about. We go over there to make a little extra money and to expand our games. And it really could have been any of us. We go through that same security. I know exactly where she was, checking your bags in. But it's scary. And even thinking about how the personality of BG and how friendly she is overseas and here, like always shaking your hand, saying, hey, what's up? And we're missing that. Like all of us miss that, regardless if she's not our teammate, right? And I think that's the thing that people really need to understand. Like it's bigger than just another player, right? Like she really is our sister.
Yeah. I mean, she said it. I mean,
Follow up. I guess if you want to speak to how in such a situation where it can feel really helpless at times, like how do you keep just trying to stay above water with the fact that it is, I don't know, do you feel that helpless? Like maybe I should have asked with that, or do you feel like there's more that we can do or that can be done to?
I mean, yeah, like we said in the earlier, we just have to keep doing it on media. We have to have these conversations because we said it 1,000 times. She needs to come home. She's been wrongfully detained, and it's enough is enough. Like it seems like we just keep saying the same thing over and over, but we have to keep saying it. We have to pick each other up and just realize that as of right now, we're not a unit until BG is home. So.
Yeah, there are definitely moments of helplessness. I think that's kind of how everyone feels in the US right now. There are a lot of moments that we feel like, gosh, something else or another one. But then at the same time, it's like we've surpassed 200,000 signatures on this petition. So like you have to take the bad moments and then realize there's still so much good and use that positivity. We're able to send BG letters, like trying to do that, just like humanize the whole situation. And we're going to continue to do that and continue to talk about it until she's home.
It never stops.
I'm assuming we're not talking hoops, right?
We got so many other games,
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm
and we're gonna see you.
I thought y'all were-
We see you all the
We're
time.
gonna see you 2 days from now.
Yeah, okay. I was just double checking.
If I can follow up another BG-centered question. Do you think about, sometimes I get this where, I mean, obviously men's basketball players like LeBron don't have to go over and worry about getting more money overseas, but do you think about like just the disparity and maybe the outrage of if it were a men's basketball player, or if that was the change, what the outcry would look like versus, I don't know if it's come to your mind at all.
I feel like, I don't know, that's a good question, but I feel like if the roles were reversed, I feel like it would have maybe been like, like bring that person home, I mean, there's so many areas where like you could tell like there's still like room for, I don't know, it's just hard, it's hard to say,
I mean, it's also hard to say because LeBron wouldn't be in that situation in the first place,
Yeah.
right? So like that's like the deeper root that when you start to shift the conversation to pay equity, it's like a lot of people, like multi-time Olympians wouldn't be playing in Russia anyway. So there are so many layers to this that we're trying to get out, and hopefully some change will come from it.
Jen?
We'll take 2 questions from Zoom related to BG. We'll start with Jen and then we'll go to Christy.
Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Kennedy. Thank you for talking to us tonight. Appreciate it. I just want to ask you real quick, Elizabeth, you mentioned kind of things like bad things piling up in the world. And I'm curious how you guys as a team are kind of balancing all the things that you could talk about, including BG, including Uvalde, like how you guys are talking about those things as a team while also, prioritizing what to talk about here with us and also taking care of yourselves and not just, overwhelming yourselves with this kind of, upsetting content.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's hard. I think we have to put things in perspective. We can't do 1,000 things at once. So today our focus is BG and talking about that. June 3rd, we're going to have our Wear Orange game and talk about gun violence. Like we're in a year and a decade where we have access to so much information and know so many things that are happening in the world where it can become overwhelming. But at the end of the day, when we're on the court, when we step in between the lines, like that's our time away to focus on the basketball. And then when we're off the court, we can choose what is important to talk about on that day and what we want to share and use our platform that way. So it's a balancing game. And I'm thankful that I have teammates that understand that and a staff that understands that.
That's for me. Are we?
Christy?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was in. My question is, when BG does come back stateside, and I'm claiming that already, but when she does come back, how does that change the landscape for decisions to go to play? And I know you said it's financial, and I know you said, you can develop and evolve your game and your skill set, but how do you think that is going to change moving forward for the WNBA players?
This is a hard one because as sad as it sounds, I think players will still go overseas. I think maybe where they go overseas might change. How long they go overseas might change. And I think there will be more conversations and harder conversations with agents about wanting to go. But I think people are still going to go. But I think hopefully this kind of opens up the eyes and ears of the league and of investors and of sponsors in saying, if they say they support women and they support women's sports, putting their money where their mouth is so that we don't feel any type of obligation to go. So we don't feel that we're ever put in any type of risk to have to go overseas in the future.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. That concludes media for tonight. We will send out information about the week later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate